Good evening. So welcome everyone. What we are creating here in Satsang is not exactly a teaching. It is not a sharing of information or knowledge. But more an experience. It's not about understanding something that I will convey. You're not meant to get what I'm saying. It's more like a shared experience. A happening in which we allow ourselves to feel a certain pull. This pull is almost like a magnetic force that has the power to grab us out of thought, time, the world, emotions, the past, the future. It's a pull that draws us to a different reality. It is the very same world, only not colored by our thinking, our emotions. The world in this reality is not a projection of ourselves. But it is a miracle of a divine or greater reality in which we just participate. Usually when we meditate, if we meditate or try to meditate, try to experience some silence, some depth inside ourselves, the pull is not necessarily very strong. Then we may have a hard time meditating. We more try to do meditation. It's a doing, it's an effort. And we tend to be also distracted. But in a satsang, it is very easy to ride this wave, to enter the zone, the realm, the territory of this magnet. Think of it like that there is a core of reality, of enlightenment, of awakening, and in this core there is such a strong magnetic force. It's almost like the attraction of some insects to light and fire. But as long as we are outside the circle, outside the territory of this pull, this magnetic force, we only do meditation. We do spirituality. It is still a matter of effort. And then we ask ourselves also the question, do I need to make an effort? Do I need to meditate? Do I need to inquire? Shouldn't it come naturally, spontaneously? Isn't it anyway a matter of grace? Some try too hard, some try too little. And still, before we enter this circle, this range of influence of this magnet, it's like we are in a search, we are on a journey. we feel like we are changing, improving, trying our best, having bad meditation, good meditation. But at a certain point, we cross into this circle. And then we begin to feel that we are no longer meditating. That we are meditation. It's like, in a way, something is meditating us, which is an extraordinary experience, because you feel you are no longer doing the meditation, it just happens. You can't control it. You're guided, something bigger than you is playing with you. Is attracting you, is calling you to enter. Try to feel this pull today. Because basically it's not so important what we do on the spiritual journey. We can meditate, this practice, do this technique, go to dance. It doesn't matter what techniques we use. It is not important. Sometimes we give a lot of importance to doing the right thing, to choosing the right technique that would work the best. It doesn't matter so much. What only matters is whether we follow this pull all the way, like in a way almost like innocent children. We just follow the light. On the way it takes us here, it takes us there, it guides us to this meditation now, then drop this meditation, take this travel, change the path, meditate 3 hours a day, meditate 5 minutes a day, don't meditate. It's not so much about what we do. It's about the quality. Why we do. Here is where the pull begins. It's not from here. You cannot understand what drives you. You're basically a lover of something that you do not understand. And perhaps you can feel it now. It's a calling, it's a yearning. And it's also its own answer. From the day in which you are blessed enough to feel this, then it's only about following it all the way, wherever it takes you. But it is a matter of love, not a decision. It is even less rational than your romantic relationships. Less explainable. So when you enter the range, something begins to pull you, and then meditation and spirituality become effortless. Not because you're not making effort, but because you're not feeling that it is an effort. When an artist has some kind of inspiration to write a book or to create a painting, they might spend nights and days and not eat and do crazy stuff. They would look like madmen and madwomen to the people around them who don't experience the same pull. You know, you just wake up, you go to work. You do work, but creativity you don't do. Creativity is a pull that is doing you. It becomes bigger. The painting is bigger, the book is bigger, the poem is bigger. This is maybe what they mean when they say follow your heart, but in the deep way. And this starts happening when your heart awakens to this pull. Something is calling you back from all your crazy journey of who knows how many times. Maybe one lifetime, maybe 10 lifetimes, maybe 100, 200, depends if you include being a frog and a worm. It doesn't matter, because even one day without it is too much. It feels like a long getting lost. However, when you wake up to this reality, it at the same time feels like you've never left. Nobody can understand really what is enlightenment. You can read in books, hear many satsangs and attend retreats and so on, and listen to descriptions and say, okay, I'm getting it, this is about unity, this is about the cosmos, this is about who I am. But it's not really this description or that description that drives us, that makes us take the path. It's something that our heart recognizes and knows that it needs to follow without understanding why. It's not even intelligent. Here right now, while we sit, it's if there is something that responds in you, it's not because I'm saying something wonderful or sophisticated. It's because we are encoded. And when someone comes and triggers this encoding, we simply respond. It's beyond us. In a way, it happens even without us agreeing or confirming. Nobody is asking us. So spiritual journey is all and only about love, the real spiritual journey. It's not about self-discipline, not about doing meditation, not about doing the right thing to achieve the right thing. It's about the love that a leaf feels towards the tree that holds it. It's about the love that a flower feels towards the ground that holds it. It's about wanting to return to the only place, the only state, the only reality to which we really belong. After walking for quite some time on a foreign land. Love is the only force in us that the ego has nothing to do with. So if we follow this love, if we follow this pull, we realize that it came from a place that is far bigger than what our ego can contain. So do you see the whole thing that we call a spiritual journey is just like slowly tuning in to this magnet. It's like your heart and the magnet, they begin to slowly synchronize. Until they create a contact. And when this contact takes place, you are lost. You cannot do anything anymore. You have reached a point of no return. Because I don't know if you know where the writings of Plato, but he speaks there about the madness of love. There is one book, it's half Socrates, half Plato say it, nobody really knows. And there Socrates in this book tries to speak philosophy, rather sensible philosophy, like logical, the one that eventually poor Socrates reaches the academy and then becomes a logical thinker. But in this book it's a very beautiful moment. Socrates tries to speak philosophy. And then he says, oh no, it is starting. I don't know what to do. I must escape this talk. And then he tries to go away to prevent the talk. But then this force, this magnetic force, doesn't let him escape. And then Socrates sits and begins to talk about love. Because it's like it's the most intimate element. it's really what is behind philosophy when it is real. It is the real reason why philosophy is translated as love of wisdom. It's not like liking wisdom, not appreciating wisdom, not thinking that wisdom is a good thing to do. It's love. And Socrates there says that love is dangerous. Because you don't know what it can do. You can't anticipate what it can do to your ego. It is bigger. This is why we hesitate when we enter relationships. It's always this feeling of something very strong, but also something very maddening. That makes us do irrational things, that makes us behave strangely and foolishly also. Surely all of us here have some memories of moments in which we made real fools of ourselves. Really embarrassing moments. So this is what Socrates says, love makes you crazy. And on the spiritual journey, we are meant to become lovers, not meditators, not self-disciplined, professional practitioners, not Buddhists, Hindus, not Advaita, Neo-Advaita. It doesn't matter, all these concepts. Behind them, there is just, the reality is very simple. There is the pull of the heart and answering this pull, following it. That's it. And I'm here only to make you fall in love. Because I'm in love for already quite some time. And again, at the beginning, you try so hard and you try to understand what masters say and to read the right text and to try this technique and that technique and to be serious and sincere and so on and so on. But then at a certain point, something breaks in you. It happens much before any big awakening. Something just feels enchanted. You feel that your heart feels that it has found the most beautiful thing in the world. And our hearts, they are drawn to beauty. What is there at the core of reality? Who knows? We call it the source of life, we call it consciousness, reality. This means nothing. It's just our home. When we feel that our mind, our heart, our body, they all fit perfectly into some energy field. That all existential tension has come to an end. That you know you don't need to worry or to fear. Also not to desire. That you know, you feel that your heart's desire has been fulfilled, that you got what you wanted. And you know that nothing else matters. You become blind to the world. And then your meditation is natural because you are pulled to meditate. Nobody tells you, sit. Nobody tells you, focus. You simply love reading about it, you love hearing about it, you love contacting it, you love giving yourself to it. And this is where your search is over. It's not with the fireworks of awakening. It's when you know exactly and perfectly what you love in this life. then this great force begins to work on you. It pulls you out of yourself. It responds also with love. The attraction is mutual. The magnet wants to pull you just as much as you want to be pulled. It is not really like you are trying to knock on a door of some indifferent reality. There is love behind this door. There is light behind this door. If you feel some burning in your heart, in your chest, then just let it work on you. It is a very special type of relationship. Because at the beginning you think that you are going to let go of yourself, that you need to let go of yourself in order to enter this love. But then you realize that what you love is yourself. That you are pulled towards yourself. That the magnet is you. See, this is a natural meditation. We sit at the beginning completely, or at least somewhat fragmented. There are pieces of ourselves everywhere, in thoughts, emotions, feelings, in some in the past, some in the future. Of course, when our attention is so fragmented, how can we meditate? It's impossible. But then the heart gathers all the pieces. You become one because you only want one thing. There was a very known saint woman in India. Her name was Mother Meera. And she was deeply ecstatic. One day she tried to enter a certain temple. The temple was a temple for Shiva, or Krishna, actually, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was Krishna. So then she tried to enter the temple, and the guard stopped her and said, "What are you doing? This temple is forbidden to women. It's only for men." So she looked at him and said, "Men? I didn't know that there was more than one man in the universe. I thought that there was only one man, Krishna." And he got really confused because this was not the answer that he expected. He looked at her, she looked so otherworldly, and so he went to the priest to tell him about this strange woman. And the priest heard that, and he got so humbled that he just ran to the gate, prostrated, and told her, "Please forgive us for these instructions, because it is true that the temple is forbidden to women, but you have completely transcended any duality, so please enter. So this is when we have one love. There are not many men, many women, many people, many things. But the unity in our heart. If you have this unity in your heart, and you are no longer a seeker, because what can you search? You only need to know what you love. And with that, all sorrow comes to an end. The sorrow is of not knowing what we love. Try to let meditation happen through you. To be the meditation. To allow a meditation. To relax into the meditation that already happens. The whole universe is in meditation. This is why we like nature, because it tells us so. Right? Nature tells us, hey, I'm already in meditation. Trees are much better meditators than us. So you just participate, choose to participate in a meditation that already happens. Let it happen now. Let's see if there are some questions or answers. If someone would like to answer something. Let questions or sharing arise just naturally, effortlessly, not like asking something, but just as a part of our intimacy. There is really nothing separating us here. It's just a group of lovers. Yes.
Yeah. When we are in love.
Yes.
With ourselves, and we have satisfaction inside of us, then when is the time for another person to invite?
When?
Is the time for another person, or the space, or the place?
When is there a space for another person?
Another person to be in. Because when you don't need anymore.
Yes. This is a good question. I will repeat it, don't worry. The question is, I anyway need for this kind of viewing. The question is, when we are filled with this love towards ourselves and don't need any more than that, where is the room for another person, another being to enter? First of all, there is plenty of room. We have a lot of room here, let me tell you. We can put here the entire universe and a little more. And also include here some of our soul connections and our more family and friends and all that is our chance to practice personal love, because we need also to practice specific love with a face. Still, we need to remember, even when we love a face, what we love is the self behind the face. When we love attributes and qualities in someone, these are the qualities and attributes of the self radiating on that individual. Then this individual becomes illumined for us, and we say, oh, such a beautiful soul. And I want to devote myself. But what attracts us is just pieces of the self that fell into this individual, and we see them glowing. Then we say, I love you. But We love this glow, and we love love. So there's nothing wrong with personal love. Personal love is a part of love. And it's also a chance to practice devotion in action, to practice coming out of ourselves for a relationship which is bigger than us, making the effort, bleeding a little, aching a little. This is all very natural. We need to universally love. We need to love the self. It's not even universally, it's just because it's one. Universally it always sounds like many. It's not like that. You don't love all people. What do you mean by that? You love the self in all people. You love the self in all animals. You love the self in all trees. And we also need to experience something personal, a representation. And there is plenty of room here for both. The best state is, of course, not to need that someone will enter the space. Why? Because when I need, it is very general. It has nothing to do with the individual that is perhaps around the corner and that is going to naturally and spontaneously attach to us because of soul connection, because of a deeper connection. When I say, for example, I need love, this means I'm basically I want to experience something, and then I am just going to choose the right candidate, you see? But this need is not really personal. And then the beginning of the connection is this need. I need to experience love to a woman. Then I'm just having this need, and then there is some woman and she happens to fit into my need. But then this is the cause of many projections, because what I'm contacting is an image. There is a certain wish for a love with a woman or with a man. And I just put this wish on a person. And then at the beginning I feel that my need is fulfilled, and then it is not. Then I become angry, aggressive, demanding. And then slowly saying I love you is somehow tainted by other emotions. And you can even hate the person sometimes when they don't fulfill this need. That is why it is the best thing is to cultivate the love to the self and to let people, animals, plants, because they are, I don't consider only people as an experience of love, come our way, you see? Yeah, they just come. You don't invite, you don't scream for a soulmate. If there is a soulmate that is about to meet you, this will happen. You see, you cannot. It's predetermined. It's written in the stars. You cannot push it because it's just going to happen anyway. That is why just let it flow. Doesn't mean not to be available, of course. Don't sit on some, I don't know, on a peak of a mountain and say, well, you know, the soulmate, if it's my destiny, they will just fall with parachuting directly on that spot. It's destiny, you know. It's not that, of course. We need to be open, but the soulmate is a gift that either comes or not. It's not something. It's not a part of doing. Try as much as possible to focus on one love, on the unity of love, while leaving space for personal love. And then see what happens. It's not that you're going to end up alone in this life, because you are not alone. You are alone only when you are turning this off. Then you are alone, definitely. When you don't love, you are alone, yes. It's like the divine reality, your ultimate beloved surrounds you, but if this is closed, then you cannot even feel it. You don't know it is there. It's like just, like sitting and praying, God, please appear. God, please give me a sign. And it's like not hearing that it says, I am here. Can't you feel it? Could you please stop praying? You are making so much fuss that you can't feel what is already here. So focus on what you love and let life take care of its business. Life is the delivery service. Yes, please.
So basically, if somebody calls you a simple person, it's not considered a compliment. But thinking of spirituality, it's super simple, also in regards to an open heart. So actually being a simple person is one of the biggest compliments you can get.
So basically you're saying that that usually, you said, that usually a simple person is not such a high compliment.
No,
Yes,
really.
because, yes, and that actually spirituality makes us very simple, because
Anyway,
it's the simplicity of the heart. The simplest, most boring person, yes. Because this is why sometimes I'm shocked that people treat me with a certain distance and even fear. They are very sometimes nervous when they meet me and I sit there. It's like I finally reached a state in which I'm the most not special thing in the world, more like a tree. And then to feel anxious, do you feel anxious when you when you stay in front of a tree, like, oh my God, what am I going to say? Is he going to like me? Spirituality, real spirituality, not only that it doesn't boost your ego, it doesn't give you spiritual ego, it doesn't make you special. If you are walking around on the street and thinking, oh, I'm so spiritual, look at all these mundane people in self-forgetfulness, unlike me. I'm right now remembering myself. I'm watching, observing with my special consciousness. Poor unenlightened people, but I do have compassion for them. They are also myself, very forgetful self, but then what's the point of spirituality? If I see people, if I see others, what's so spiritual about me? You see? Spirituality is about removing barriers. It's about not being able to tag anymore. It's about having the wall between you and the world removed completely. You don't see people. You see yourself. And not only that it doesn't make you special, it makes you dissolve. It makes you nothing. It makes you everything. So there's actually, you know what's interesting? The greatest spiritual teachers I've ever met, they were the simplest. They were like, sometimes you could sit next to them and say, well, they're not so impressive, they're not such giants, they're just like simple. But it took me time to understand that the deeper the attainment, the more the teacher is making no special gestures, not making big fuss out of oneself, because that's the whole thing. That you've discovered you're not special, that you've discovered that you are an inseparable part of the fabric of reality. And this is why if you say I am enlightened, this is like the funniest thing one could ever say. How could you say I am enlightened, because I am enlightened already contains the very contradiction. It means that this cannot be enlightenment. Enlightenment is when there is no I am, you see, which makes you nothing. The special beings, really special beings, are those who have egos, because they are outstanding, you see, they are like, they stand out of reality, existing separately, with their own world, with their own special thoughts and special perspective and special experiences. Because in reality you don't even have experiences. You don't have special experiences, because what experiences? You don't experience this or that, it's just one. It's one state, one condition, one being. Does it have attributes? Of course not, because it cannot be compared to anything else. There's nothing outside it. And this is where you realize that if somebody says that you are very special, this is not a compliment anymore. This actually means, oh, I need to work. Something is still wrong if I strike others as special. We are meant to be like the wind, like a breeze. Do you think that a breeze is special? That it has attributes? Do you say, oh my God, look at this breeze. This is quite a breeze. Not like the other breeze. This breeze I want to worship, to put on the throne and say, here is the special guru. But if there is any reality to the thing they call guru, it's just that this chair is empty. We are trained in our society to need to be special. You always need to have some kind of identification, some kind of, this is who I am. So what do you do in life? Let me tell you what I do in life. And do you notice me? Do you see? Do you see my gestures? I'm not like all the others. I'm somebody. I've worked really hard to be this somebody. And if somebody insults you, how can you say this to me? Because we feel special, we feel pride, that we are honorable. When you're really spiritual, if somebody insults you, you just laugh. They probably write about everything they said. At the same time, they were completely wrong, because they just saw what they wanted to see, whether love or dislike. So, no, it's good. It's adding some humor to an otherwise over serious meeting. there is a tremendous joy of being a nobody. And I know it's not easy because the whole society is driving towards becoming somebodies. And you need to have titles, and you need to be impressive, and to make sure that you're not just like anyone else, but try to enjoy it. Being overlooked. You know, I just thought about it a few days ago. I saw some marvelous fish in Antarctica. Marvelous species over there in Antarctica. It's like, it's so deep in the water that nobody would ever see it. Maybe after they did see it, but they needed to make unbelievable project for that. And I thought about it. These fish, they are shockingly beautiful, colorful, extraordinary, and nobody would ever see them. You see, it's like nobody would ever know. They would not become famous. But they are still just as beautiful. So it's better to keep your spirituality inside. Conceal it. Don't show off. Translate your spirituality into humanity. Simple humanity. Something nobody would even know that you are special. You know that in Judaism there is some kind of some stories about really, really profound rabbis. Like the really profound rabbis, whenever somebody would come to them and say, "You are a holy rabbi, would you teach me the reality of God?" Then they would pretend to be madmen. They would start behaving crazily, just to kill their pride, you see? Just to show that they are nothing. There is a great beauty in being no one. Then, when you agree to be a no one, to be not special, the most unspecial thing in the world, you are free. You are really free from any self-image, from any opinion. Just let this effort of being a somebody, let it be washed away. This is why Jesus talked about the narrow gate. that you needed to be such a nothing to enter into the kingdom, and you couldn't enter rich, important, somebody. You needed to be a no one. Then you would fit. Yes.
I'm curious, in connections where we have karma, or where there's karma that's experienced in connections, what can one do to resolve or diffuse karma? When we feel the past that's moving in the present, something from the past that's moving, it's alive in the present, how to diffuse or dissolve karma in connections?
Let me just repeat that because I'm not sure. You're asking how can we dissolve karma? Yes. Continue.
So there's karma in a connection or relationship. How to...
In a connection?
Yes.
Okay.
So whether a family member relationship, if it's
Okay.
karma and you're aware of it, how to be with it, or how to bring it to the light or to dissolve it.
Quite a question. So you're asking how to dissolve karma in a relationship with family, and how to bring it to light. What do you mean when you say karma?
Karma is karma, isn't it?
What is karma? Karma is karma.
Karma is describe karma. For me, karma is something from the past that happened that's still alive and present in the now. It's not from this reality, this timeline, but something from the past that's alive and active.
Yes. So let's say we have a family connection, and we feel that it is heavily loaded with some kind of memories and unresolved issues that make us, of course, project on the other what they were, not only what they are. First of all, I wouldn't try to resolve a karma with someone, because it's very important to understand that it's all inside me. Because karma is my own projections. It's not really a relationship. It's not something that I'm needing to solve with someone. It's my responsibility. So basically, the way to resolve karma, first of all, it needs to happen within myself. Seeing everything that I project. everything that makes me unable to see someone in the present. Otherwise, you are waiting. You see? It's like a matter of something that you need to do with someone else. And then you're waiting. So karma is basically seeing something without the past. And whatever you do is asking yourself, what is it that keeps my heart from being open? That prevents my heart from being open? What is it that blurs, that obscures the heart perception? We never have an excuse to closing our heart. Of course, we give many excuses, right? It's because he did this, and because he did that, and because she's like that, and so, you know that I'm right. And we know how to gather around us the right friends that will tell us exactly that we are right. The thing is that we are wrong, 100% of the time. There is no excuse to closing our heart. So then you need to make sure that you are cleaning everything that prevents all the excuses, all the projections that say, no, I must close my heart this time. And then if you manage to be with an open heart, whatever you do, by the way, also end the relationship, it doesn't matter. It's okay to end relationships, It's not... At a certain point, we are going to end relationship also with the life that we have. So relationships come to an end sometimes. It's okay. But whatever you do, if you do it out of open heart, is okay. Doesn't create any more karma, and is the resolution of the karma. That's it. Let's see if, yes, this would be the last one. Yes?
For me, this question was, or your answer was a bridge to your writing about 7 heart qualities.
Yes.
I read yesterday, and I stopped at the point forgiving. And I realized that it's my issue is more, I don't have so much issues with other persons, but forgiving to myself.
Yes.
And I was asking now myself, how is it possible to look at myself without past, or how is it possible to resolve self-destructive or negative
Yes.
patterns.
So you're asking, how could one forgive oneself, right? Because we also have this kind of self-destructive mechanism, turning against ourselves, not being able to bring to an end the karma with ourselves, the karma, the karma in this relationship. Whenever I hear about not being able to forgive ourselves, I'm always wondering, what terrible thing did you do exactly? You don't strike me as a mass murderer. You look like a very gentle being. And
Yeah, maybe to others or in the way I touch life, but really some violent behavior. I don't want to be very special now, but really self-destructive.
self-destructive, yes.
And using when some little things come from outside a past relationship, or using such things, repeat them, make them bigger,
Yes.
know them, even if it wasn't such a
Yes, yes, yes. Isn't it terrible what we do to ourselves? No, seriously, we need to have some kind of movement to protect ourselves from ourselves. Perceive yourself through the heart, not through the mind. It's because you are looking at yourself from thoughts. Thoughts, they are always condemning, judging. Because in thoughts, in the world of thoughts, there is always better. Always. Our partner could be better, but also I could be better. Right? Basically, we keep looking at everyone, thinking they should be better, they could be better, but we know within ourselves that the most brutal we are towards ourselves. You could be better, you should be better, you could do more, you could become better, more spiritual, more beautiful, more... This is thought. You cannot change thought, because thought is this very mechanism of better. You could. This is what it does all day long. It always tells you, yes, but it could be better. Yes, this moment you are opening up, but you could open up your heart even more. You know that, right? Because if you did that, you could experience more. You could be more spiritual. Try to perceive yourself, to look at yourself really from the heart, from physically from the heart. Activate this part and try to look at yourself. This is the judge. It is only based on comparison. It only compares. This is what it knows to do, and please forgive this judge also. Be compassionate towards this judge. Thought is just doing what it knows to do. Just like, bacteria or virus. What, can you be angry at bacteria? Can you say, this bacteria? No bacteria said, hey, I want to be a bacteria. Can I? It's more like, okay, so you will be the bacteria. Go. No, but go. So can you be angry at a bacteria? It just does what it does. Also thoughts, they do what they do. They condemn, judge, compare. But the heart, when it is really activated, when you turn your heart towards yourself, you find that the most tender treatment that you have ever expected to receive from anyone was from you. We always, long for a caress. But it's only because we don't know how to be tender toward ourselves. And here is the secret that thought would never tell you, because it's not its interest to tell you. When you love yourself, when you open up to tenderness through the heart, you become a lovely being. Exactly the being that you were trying to be. You didn't need to improve to be lovely. You needed to stop improving to be lovely. It immediately bursts out this beauty, this generosity, this gentleness. And it's very easy, you can practice it. Just think of someone that your thought thinks is terrible. Then look at this someone, turn your heart towards this someone, and look. And ask yourself, what would you see? You would probably immediately think, well, this guy or this woman, they are really doing their best. What can they do? We're all trying to do our best. This is a hard world. We are doing our best. Aren't we doing our best? If we are parents and we are guided by love, we would always tell our children, you are doing your best. And if there is any chance that they would be good people, is only if they had this type of parents who kept telling them, yeah, you are doing your best. No child needs education from their parents. They need only the safety of being loved. And what you are to your heart is a child. we are doing all these self-destructive things only because we are waiting for someone to tell us that we deserve gentleness. But this someone is your heart. Thank you. This is the sort of evenings that are good enough reason to incarnate.